What would you do if you were casually sitting at a cafe, enjoying a cup of coffee when suddenly the greatest footballer of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo, walks in and takes a seat next to you? What if he did something so surprising, so unexpected, that it completely changed the way you viewed him? Something that would make you realize that even with all his fame and success, he was still just like the rest of us? That's exactly what happened today in Lisbon. And trust me, you won't believe the incredible moment that followed. It was a typical afternoon in Lisbon. The streets were filled with the usual mix of locals going about their day and tourists taking in the sights. The city, known for its picturesque streets, stunning architecture, and rich history, was alive with its usual buzz. In one quiet corner of Lisbon, nestled between the cobblestone streets and charming shops, there sat a small, unassuming cafe. It was the kind of place you'd stop by for a quiet moment away from the hustle and bustle. A place where you could sip your coffee, read a book, or chat with friends without the chaos of the city interrupting your peace. Inside the cafe, everything was calm and relaxed. The barista was busy preparing drinks, the sound of the espresso machine was filling the air, and the chatter of patrons was a low hum in the background. People were enjoying their afternoon. Nothing out of the ordinary was happening. Little did they know, something extraordinary was about to unfold right in front of their eyes. Suddenly, the door to the cafe opened, and in walked none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, for those of you who may not know, Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the most famous athletes on the planet. He's a football legend, someone who's won nearly every individual award in the sport, played for some of the biggest clubs in the world, and captured the hearts of millions of fans across the globe. When you think of football icons, Ronaldo is right up there at the top. So, imagine the shock of the people in this quiet cafe when they saw the world-renowned athlete walk in, dressed casually in a hoodie, sunglasses, and a simple cap. For a moment, he looked just like any other person, blending into the crowd as he walked up to the counter to order his coffee. The first few seconds were surreal. Most people didn't recognize him immediately. After all, he was dressed down, trying to keep a low profile. But as soon as a few patrons glanced at his face more closely, the whispers began. "Is that really him?" someone asked. "No way, it can't be," said another, half joking. But as more and more people turned their heads, the realization dawned on them. Cristiano Ronaldo was sitting in their cafe, just a few feet away. People's eyes widened. Some of them froze, unsure of what to do. Was this really happening? Then the buzz began. Quiet murmurs turned into full-blown excitement. Fans started to point, trying to discreetly get a glimpse of the man they'd watched for years, admiring his incredible skills on the football field. Some were so starstruck they couldn't help but stare, while others took out their phones to snap pictures, hoping to get a shot of him without being too obvious. But what happened next was something that none of them expected. Rather than rushing out of the cafe or asking for some privacy, Cristiano Ronaldo did something that caught everyone off guard. He remained calm, composed, and, most surprisingly, completely approachable. Instead of retreating or hiding behind his sunglasses, he simply continued to enjoy his coffee. No bodyguards, no entourage, no grand spectacle. Just a man sitting in a cafe, trying to enjoy a quiet moment. The longer he sat there, the more curious the fans became. One by one, they started gathering around him, cautiously approaching the legend. But instead of brushing them off or acting impatient, Ronaldo did something incredible. He welcomed them. A fan, a young woman no older than 25, was the first to muster up the courage to speak to him. She'd been a fan of Ronaldo for years, had followed his career religiously, and now she found herself standing in front of him, unsure of what to say. With a trembling hand, she reached out and said, "Cristiano, I've been a fan of yours for so long. Would it be okay if I took a picture with you?" Now, this is where things could have gone in a very different direction. Most celebrities, when approached in public, would either rush through the interaction or quickly decline. But not Ronaldo. He smiled warmly at her and said, "Of course. Come on, let's take the picture." What followed was not just a quick photo. He made sure to stand next to her, adjusted the angle to make sure the shot was perfect, and even took a moment to chat with her. He asked her about her day, about how she was enjoying her time in Lisbon. For a moment, he wasn't the international superstar everyone knew. He was just a man, chatting with a fan like anyone would. The young woman's eyes widened as she realized that Ronaldo wasn't just posing for a photo and moving on. He was genuinely interested in speaking with her. He wasn't rushing her, and he didn't act like he was above her. He made her feel like she was important, like she mattered. It wasn't just the selfie that made this moment so special. It was the connection, the warmth, the sincerity that Ronaldo showed in that brief interaction. Soon after, other fans started to gather, and Ronaldo continued to engage with them one by one. He posed for more pictures, shook hands, and even signed a few autographs. But again, what stood out wasn't the usual rushed celebrity routine. It was how he treated each person who approached him. He asked about their lives, about why they supported him, and genuinely listened to their stories. There was no sense of hurry in his movements, no air of superiority. He was simply a man interacting with his fans, showing them kindness and respect. As the moments passed, the energy in the cafe shifted. What started as a quiet, relaxed afternoon quickly transformed into a moment that would become a treasured memory for everyone who was lucky enough to be there. For some fans, it felt like they were having a conversation with their idol, someone they had only ever seen from a distance. But in this moment, Ronaldo wasn't just a superstar. He was a person who valued them, who showed them that no matter how famous you get, kindness is what truly matters. The surprise didn't end there. Amidst the crowd of fans gathered around, a young boy, no older than 10 years old, was sitting quietly at a table nearby. His eyes were wide with awe as he watched Ronaldo interact with everyone. The boy had been too shy to approach him, afraid that his idol might not have time for him. But Ronaldo, ever aware of his surroundings, noticed the boy sitting there in silence. Without hesitation, he stood up and walked over to him. "Hey, buddy," Ronaldo said, as he knelt down beside the boy's table. "What's your name?" The boy, taken aback, could hardly believe what was happening. "And Marcus," he stuttered, still in shock. I'm a big fan." "Well, Marcus," Ronaldo said with a smile, "it's great to meet you. Are you enjoying your time in Lisbon?" The boy, still overwhelmed, nodded. But what happened next would stay with him forever. Ronaldo didn't just stop at a brief exchange. He sat down beside the boy and took the time to talk to him. He asked him about his dreams, about his favorite football teams, and even gave him some advice. "You know, Marcus," Ronaldo said, "you can achieve anything if you work hard for it. Never give up on your dreams." For the young boy, this moment was life-changing. He had always admired Ronaldo from afar, watching him on television and reading about his achievements. But to have his idol come up to him, speak to him, and encourage him was something he would never forget. The boy's eyes shone with gratitude as he looked up at Ronaldo. It wasn't just a celebrity moment, it was a human moment. Ronaldo wasn't just taking a picture with a fan. He was impacting a young boy's life in a way that no one could have predicted. As the afternoon wore on, more fans came and went, and Ronaldo continued to make his rounds, speaking to everyone who came his way. By the time he finished his coffee and stood up to leave, the entire cafe was buzzing with excitement. Ronaldo hadn't just made a brief appearance. He had taken the time to connect with his fans on a personal level, showing them that no matter how much fame you have, kindness and respect for others are what truly matter. Before he left, he waved at the crowd one last time, thanking everyone for their support. His departure wasn't grand or flashy. It was quiet and humble, just as he had been during the entire visit. But for everyone who was there, it was a moment they would never forget. Cristiano Ronaldo had given them more than just a photo or autograph. He had given them a glimpse into his character, reminding everyone that true greatness comes not just from talent, but from the way you treat others.